Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Um, Thank you so much for joining. This is episode number 55 of the Unboxing AI webinar series. And, if you don't know what this is, well, this is CARPL's attempt at bringing some of our partners, customers, collaborators, friends um, every week at 11 a.m. Eastern Time to open up their lives, open up their work, open up their worlds, and basically allow you guys to ask them anything and everything that you'd like about AI, about radiology, about medicine, about life. Uh, you know, today we are honored to have Dr. Jin Choi with us, and Dr. Choi. I will just introduce him in a bit. We are also joined by Yoon Lee, uh, who leads international business for PurpleAI. And but before that, if you don't know what CARPL is, well, CARPL is your friendly neighborhood AI platform, uh, helping healthcare providers all over the world navigate this entire ecosystem of amazing AI applications, each one of them providing different types of value across the radiology workflow and helping you build, test, deploy, and monitor all sorts of AI, and also offering a single user interface, single data channel, and a single procurement channel to obtain all of the world's greatest AI applications. So, yeah, I will stop talking about myself and switch over to just a brief introduction of Dr. Choi. Uh, One sec. I am just pulling up the introduction. There it is. Yes. So Dr. Choi Jin-wook is the Chief Medical Officer and also, as I've learned, Chief Business Officer at PurpleAI. PurpleAI is also CARPL's newest AI partner. Uh, and Purple is a South Korea-based AI company dedicated exclusively to cerebrovascular diseases. Dr. Choi serves as a professor of radiology. He's the chief of neuro and the director of the Office of Medical Innovation at Aju University Hospital in Seoul. Um, he is a prominent leader in the neuro and stroke care world and holds key national positions, including policy director of the Korean Society of Neuroradiology and the director of the Korean Stroke Society. He plays an instrumental role in shaping radiology policy and is often found driving innovation at the intersection of clinical radiology and AI, which is what we love. Thank you, Dr. Choi. Thank you, Yunmin, for joining. We are very, very excited to have you. And Dr. Choi, I'm going to start by requesting you to, take a few minutes and tell us about your journey. How does a neuroradiologist, scientist, end up becoming chief business officer and co-founder of a top tier, neuro AI company? What does that journey look like?
Thank you, your introduction, and I'd like to say the big thank you to CARPL for inviting us to the part of this webinar. Um, the journey actually began back in 2018 as a collaboration research project between the SK Group. SK Group is one of the very big conglomerate, huge size company in Korea, and the Aju University Hospital and the Seoul National University Hospital. At that time, I was deeply involved with the clinical neuroradiologist and saw firsthand how critical, fast, and accurate the brain imaging interpretation was, especially on emergency settings. Doing AI research in a lab on publishing papers is one thing, but actually making out something that work in a real hospital is totally different story. So as a university professor, I quickly realized that though there was a limit to what I could do on my own. when it came to building a real product, going through the regulatory approvals and bringing the market. So that's why the team up so project or originally started with the SK group, and from there business lead at SK and AI engineers and the clinicians like myself and Arjun University and Seoul National University Hospital came together. We each bring something important to the table, business know-how, technical expertise, and the real clinical needs with access to the data. And so the teams at SK Digital Health Division came out, and we spin off and create the PurpleAI together. So now we are just only 8 months before we made our company.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
Yeah,
only 8 months ago you started the company.
yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
our, however, we have already the product
Yes.
from SK company. So
Ah, okay. So the FDA approval, etc., was maybe when you were part of SK Group, and now
yeah,
you are
yeah,
a separate company.
that's correct. Yeah,
Ah, I see.
came out, bring the all product and manpowers.
No, that's amazing, and that makes a lot of sense, because we study the AI ecosystem here at Couple, and suddenly out of nowhere, this amazing company comes along, and we are left wondering, how did we not know? Now that makes a lot of sense. But tell me one thing, Dr. Choi, like stroke care and stroke AI, especially intracranial hemorrhage, etc. Uh, there are many companies all over the world working on that since many years. Uh, why pick that particular problem, and why go down that path in such a crowded market?
Mm. As you know, I am a neuroradiologist and also I am a neurointerventionist in Korea. So
Hmm.
uh, uh, I'm every day I work with stroke patients and so many cases. Uh, why is the so many FDA clear the stroke AI tools in the world, but 2018 at that time just a few uh, almost several solutions in the world. So uh, our solution is very early time developed. And uh, uh, I can answer your question. Uh, we have built our solution in the strong focus on the real world workflow in emergency department and small hospital, because there are so very small number of radiologists in Korea also,
Hmm.
as in the US. However, just only not well trained physicians read brain CT scan, so many hemorrhage missed, and so many infarctions missed in the emergency room. So I can the key point. So AI is grows up, and I think it is the solution of the missed in stroke field. So
Got it.
I decided that make.
So, and Yunmin, I'd love to hear your perspective also. Like, one is, you mentioned that Dr. Choi looks at more the Korean business, and you look at more the international business. So how are you positioning Purple AI globally, in this relatively crowded market?
So
It's very difficult to.
so
Oh,
so it's so
you mean?
when we first started out, there weren't that many companies, and we
Hmm.
were one of the first few to start working on AI stroke. And the main focus has kind of transformed into one that is all about cerebral vascular diseases, of which stroke is a major one. And because Dr. Choi is a specialist, a professor in that field and very well respected, that was a natural place for us to start. So by the time we came up with our first FDA cleared product, there were, as you said, many other solutions already in the market. Um, and while we can say that our solution has a top performance in terms of like comparable to some of the industry leaders like our company and also V company. And the one of the other advantages we had was we have the fastest time to analysis time per
Yeah.
study compared to others.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Hmm.
Nice.
So that's another good selling point for us. And I guess one of the biggest differentiator is the cost compared to our US counterparts. Their pricing tends to be much higher than ours because of the uh, this, uh, geographical
Advantage.
differences.
Yeah.
Um, and and going forward, our focus is not so much about competing with these companies, but to build a system. A lot of companies are focusing on building end-to-end systems that automates emergency care for stroke. But a lot of times these systems consist of solutions that are mainly focused on triage and detection, in early detection and automation. But what we want to do is we want to use those same solutions and build on top of them so that these solutions can act as predictive analytics. Uh, Predictive meaning, it can predict something that doctors are not able to do, but it's something that's why it's could be more valuable. Like for example, if you have an aneurysm, then what is the probability that it will rupture,
Just, oh, wow.
in a certain amount of time?
So,
So,
Yunmin, on that point, because you are a little different from the other applications out there, could you also give like maybe just a 1 minute description of the entire suite of the Purple AI products?
so right now we have the system consists of a so it has the ICH, brain hemorrhage solution, called Hyper Insight. That's the one that's FDA approved, and that's our flagship product. And we have two additional products. One is for ischemic stroke,
Mhm.
ischemic stroke for LVO, infarction. These other companies also have. So that's our other solution that's approved in Korea but not FDA approved yet. And another common solution that we have is for aneurysm detection. So those three are basically our current product portfolio,
Hmm.
plus our mobile notification, communication, collaboration system. Now, with what we have, we want to turn this into a more full-fledged end-to-end system that takes care of from the time the patient enters the emergency room, goes through all the typical standard patient journey, but at the same time, with the same information, we want solutions that can make predictions. Like for example, with brain hemorrhage, what is the extent of the damage that is
Hmm.
likely given this other information? So that's kind of where we're headed. So we want to have an integrated comprehensive system, but the focus will be more on these higher value predictive analytics, and because of our connections with multiple hospitals and the fact that we have two co-founders that are neuroradiologists and chiefs, we have we have access to vast amounts of not only imaging data, but also
Expertise.
patient records and longitudinal data.
Yeah.
So all of those we're going to use to create predictive analytics. And
And
as time
Yunmin,
goes,
one question on the, I don't know if you can share or not, but do you have any plans for getting US FDA for the ischemic stroke and the aneurysm
oh
software?
yes,
Um,
definitely, definitely.
any
So
timelines on that that you can share? Because a lot of people,
mhm,
I can see some neuroradiologists on the webinar also. Dr. Suresh Mukherjee, thanks for joining, and a few others.
mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
you know, uh, do you have timelines that you can share?
Yeah, so for the two other solutions, the aneurysm and ischemic, those are pretty much approved in Korea. So one
Mm-hmm.
is already approved, the other one is very almost approved. So after that's done, then we're now preparing for the pre-submission to the FDA. So we think it'll take about 1 year
Yeah.
until we get the FDA
So like
approval. So
Q2 of next year in that sense, like
yes, so for those, so these three seem to be like the must-have basic set of solutions,
yeah.
and these are the solutions that most companies have. But what
Mm,
I've noticed is that companies often expand into other areas like cardiology
yeah.
or chest,
Yeah.
but we want to focus only on cerebrovascular
Mm,
and dig deeper.
mm,
So, and I think we think that's what will differentiate our platform in the long run compared to other companies. So we may have fewer solutions, or cover only the head, the cerebrovascular system, but it'll go farther in terms of like
and any
improving
plans
patient.
of any plans of getting into MR?
Oh yes, actually,
Yeah.
we do have a project that's currently focused on MR.
Oh wow, nice.
So, so cerebrovascular, we're not just focused on, CT or CTA, CTP, but, MRI, different imaging modalities, and modalities plus data, that's time series, uh, and and our clinical research will focus on finding that magic solution that can help us predict better, and that'll help the doctors to pre-plan or alter, their treatment regimen, or somehow lead to better patient outcome due to better information. So
Nice.
I would say that's the main difference. But as Dr. Choi has stated, we're only about 8 months old
Correct.
since the spin-off.
Yeah.
We got our first funding only 2 months after we separated. So we're still like not even Series A, we're pre-A. But
Yeah.
because we've have this history of working with the large conglomerate company, and we have these teaching major top-ranking hospitals, we were able to build some of these solutions, including the one that's FDA approved. But we expect things to speed up in terms of R&D.
Yeah.
Now that we're more focused, and we're less subject to, um, you know, the team, the
Yeah. No,
company,
that's
and
that's
their
that's
process.
incredible, incredible, Yunman. And I had no idea that you guys are just 8 months old. So that's just mind blowing. But and to the audience, please feel free to ask us questions. Use the Q&A box. You can use the chat box. You can WhatsApp me if you want, like whatever works. But please feel free to. The reason we do this as a webinar is so that you can ask your questions. So please go ahead. But meanwhile, I have a question, Dr. Choi, for yourself. What is the current state of neuro AI in Korea? Like, does every hospital in Korea use AI, or is it still in early adoption that only the large hospitals are using? Uh, it could be Purple AI, it could be any other AI, but what does AI in Korean healthcare look like today?
Yes, in Korea, so many AI solutions is working in the hospital. Um, as you know, the rapid or um, and so on other companies' AI solutions. And our solution already being used in over 40 hospitals,
Oh,
including
wow.
many major hospitals and the general hospitals. It's mostly applied in the emergency setting, where speed and accuracy is very important. So triage patient with suspected in stroke and hemorrhage. That's interesting in Korea that that is actually a reimbursed pathway and allow hospitals to charge for AI uses
Oh,
in
wow.
certain cases. So there are real incentive for institutions. So it is helpful for clinically and operationally.
Can you say a little bit more about that, Dr. Choi, if you don't mind? About the reimbursement. So, what was the process to get that reimbursement? Do you know? Like, what is it that the government looks at, or the insurance companies look at to actually
Mhm.
start reimbursing AI? Because that is, one of the challenges that at least we've
Mhm.
seen across the world. So would uh, love to know about that.
Um, so if I
it's
can,
very, uh, you mean can speak? Yeah. You,
uh, okay, just in Korea we have a single payer system,
Hmm.
so everything's very streamlined and efficient. Um, the So what happened to our product is after we got the Korean FDA approval, then we were designated as a breakthrough medical device in Korea, and that's what made it eligible for reimbursement for a period of 3 to 5 years. It's similar to the U.S. FDA breakthrough device that allows for TSET, the reimbursement that uh reimbursement for a number of years so that you're able to collect real world evidence to make your case for a unofficial CPT code down the road.
Hmm.
So we were lucky, I guess. In 2024 is when we were designated as that breakthrough medical device, and that gave us the reimbursement opportunity. Um, so so whenever hospitals adopt our product, they can bill for that. So it's it's not much money, but at least it's better than nothing, and it's also a motivating factor. Um, so at least the fact that there is some reimbursement, so it's been helpful, and because of our co-founders, they're leaders and well networked. They've been very, I would say, because we only have about 45 teaching hospitals in Korea,
Oh,
university
wow. Okay.
hospitals, major
Yeah.
ones. And the fact that we're into more than 60-70% of them speaks volumes about our co-founders, I guess, sales activities. Um, and as a result of that, we were able to get in and become a part of their emergency response, stroke response, process.
Great. That's awesome. And hopefully other countries also start adopting that and start deriving benefits. We're heading towards the end of the webinar. We've got lots of questions that have just come in. First one that I'm going to take is from Suresh Mukherjee. Again, one of the doyens of neuroradiology. He asks, the USA locks the algorithm after FDA approval, the threshold, or even the algorithm itself is locked after FDA approval.
Mhm.
In other countries, is your algorithm product continuously learning uh, and updating, or is it locked there as well?
It's locked as well
Okay,
in
it's locked.
Korea.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to change that, but and plus Korea tends to follow FDA,
Hmm.
so yeah. So whenever there's a change, if it's minor, then we just do a simple update. We file for an update, and if there's some major change, then we have to reapply
Got
to
it.
get
So very,
the
very, very simple, direct
yeah,
answer.
they're
Thank
very
you.
similar. Very yes. So let's
Then,
try to keep it minimal.
no, that's it is what it is, I guess. Uh, the next is from an anonymous attendee. They ask, why the name Purple AI? Why purple? Why not
Yeah,
green?
I
Uh,
have I have the same question.
yeah, eh, uh, we gotta ask that a lot. So, uh, purple is color, so representative, creative, innovative, and so on. And the kind of blends urgency and trust. Urgency is red, and
Yeah.
trust is blue. So the mix is
Ah,
purple. It's very
wow.
beautiful, right? But it's one of part. One of our co-founding professors actually joked that asked the fortune teller. So
Yeah.
she said it has to be purple. So
Fantastic.
it's together.
That is the best answer one can get because we wanted to make it purple, so we made it purple. That's simple.
It is very simple and
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah.
And
No, wonderful.
remember, you can easily remember that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think purple is a lot of people's favorite color, so it's quite
Yeah.
cool. The next one is little serious question. It is, what is your perspective on neuro AI for chronic conditions like say dementia, multiple sclerosis, etc., versus acute conditions like stroke? Which one of the two do you think is better adopted?
I think it is both of that is both is very important, but I think more important is acute stroke because
Hmm.
yeah, time is very important and this decision is very important at the emergency situation, and that field has don't have small number of radiologists or
Yeah.
Mm. And
No, that
also
yeah, go ahead. You.
yeah, so as Dr. Choi has said, because of the life-threatening nature of stroke, it's more urgent. But because we have if you know, I don't know, the Korea is the fastest aging country in the world.
Mm,
We're getting very old very fast, and Alzheimer's, dementia. It's a lot of companies are looking into that. Not in terms of that they're global pharmaceutical companies that are working on the treatments, but in terms of using the same kind of AI and these biomarkers to prevent or early detect, so that because they say for in the case of Alzheimer's you can detect you know as early as 10 years before the onset. So companies are focusing on prevention first, and also making it easier and more accessible for seniors to take the test.
yeah.
And there are these digital therapeutics, which is another category that uh, allows. It's like a mobile app with some. It's an approved medical device,
Yeah.
uh, but more game-like, and it helps you with your cognitive health
Abilities.
and
No,
maintaining.
that is very powerful, and we can do like one full webinar on the role of digital gamified therapeutics
Mhm.
for lots of stuff. Just last question before we end. Again, from an anonymous attendee, they ask, for the purposes of triaging, according to you, how deep should the integration be with the radiologist's work list?
Oh, it's very important because our solution is totally integrated in the PAX system. So our solution adapted in the PAX system, and we can see the work list, the percent of the risk of hemorrhage. So uh, so it is very useful because I'm very useful because every day I read the many cases, and we can see the risk of the hemorrhage. Before to open the
Before you open
CT
the
scan,
scan. Yeah,
we
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
read that. I know that, so you can treat. We have to. We need know that about the risk of the hemorrhage.
No,
Yes, yeah, it's very, very time sensitive, and when it comes to the integration to the workflow, it's, like for example, it can be integrated, it can be a part of Carpool, and you do the integration. In Korea, we typically directly
yeah,
integrate with PACS, and using typical standards, and it's quite simple. And the packs, we work with the packs and in the work list for prioritization, and other features. US and Korea, they have different feature allowances. So in the case of Korea, we can provide more information like the localization,
Hmm.
colors and
Yeah,
segmentation, that kind of things. In the US, it's more restrictive. Um, but anyway, the whatever information is provided, it does reduce time.
yep,
Um, they call it the turnaround time, or
yeah,
the time to needle, or
yeah.
time to
Door to
grow
needle.
in.
Yeah,
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 grow in. So we have research. We've done research that quantifies those time savings, and also with our real-time alerts to the mobile app, and also the ability for radiologists to provide input during off hours or weekends. Those all of those things make the response faster,
yeah.
and which is very important in
No, that's
patient
wonderful. I
outcome.
think, Yunmin, we are at time. I can keep talking to you guys all day. But I think thank you so much. Very insightful. And I look forward to meeting you, in person at KCR. But
Yes, yes.
and maybe before that somewhere. But thank you to everybody who joined. Means a lot. And we will see you here same time next week. See you guys.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Dr.
Thank
Choi.
you.
Thank you, Yunmin.
Thank you.
Thank
Later.
you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.